pre-apology, there's going to be an orchestra playing, so I'm going to have to mute certain parts of this so I don't get copyright striked. Either way, let's find out who is going to win Game of the Year. I'm so hyped. Oh, the music's so good, and I need to go back and rewatch this with the actual orchestra playing. I had to pause it so I could actually, you know, record it and react live for you guys. But yes, I really want Final Fantasy VII Remake to win. The interactions with the characters were so good. The battle sequences were so good. The graphics, and not all of the graphics, but most of the graphics, and the CGI and the cutscenes, the Honeybee Inn. Oh, I hope it wins. I am so hyped. Ooh. The music for Doom! Oh my! I hope that they release this all individually, just the theme tracks or the soundtracks with the orchestra, because that would be amazing. Now, Ghosts of Tsushima has won the player awards, so I've got a sneaky feeling it might win Game of the Year. I'm hoping it's going to be Final Fantasy VII Remake, but I would not be upset if Ghosts of Tsushima did actually win. For me, it was breathtaking. I had to stop every 2 seconds to actually look around and take in the scenery. That's pretty cool. I like what they've done with the music. I don't want The Last of Us 2 to win, just because numerous reasons, but I won't get into that unless it wins, and I don't think it will. I have to say, this orchestra is doing an amazing job of what I've heard so far. I've only heard parts, same as you guys, but also, my friends are currently playing Hades and they're saying you need to play it. It's such a good game. And this is one of the only games from the Game Awards that I haven't played, alongside Doom and Animal Crossing, so... Now that music is really, really cute, especially with an orchestra. And I haven't played Animal Crossing this one because the last few I've played I've just lost complete interest in. I can completely understand why a lot of people like it, especially during these times where people can't see other people in real life. So what better way to go into other people's towns and actually see them in Animal Crossing? I get that. I completely understand that, so I would not be annoyed if Animal Crossing won Game of the Year. But I'm hoping for Ghost of Tsushima or Final Fantasy VII Remake. 7 Remake.
Well, that sounds fantastic. And now, the Game of the Year award goes to The Last of Us Part 2.
I have a lot to say.
Big congrats to all the other games we're nominated with. Everyone at Naughty Dog, I can't wait to hug and high five and get drunk with each one of you. That's going to have to wait till next year. I want to just thank every person that worked on this Ambition game within Naughty Dog and outside. Shout out to our Sony partners again, Scott Brody, Connie Booth, Herman, Hulst, Sean Layden, Jim Ryan. Your support and trust in us means the world. And more than anything, and I know that I speak for the whole team when I say this, we'd like to thank our friends and family that stood by us and support us throughout us making this game. You inspire us not only to make better, more meaningful games, but to improve how we make games. On behalf of everyone at Naughty Dog, thank you.
Congratulations to Naughty Dog, Game of the Year for The Last of Us Part 2. And congratulations to all our winners and all the nominees around the world.
I have so much to say. I don't know where to start. First of all, I just want to say congratulations to The Last of Us Part 2. And that speech there was nothing wrong with that speech. It was pretty good. Now, I honestly don't know where to start. For me, The Last of Us Part 2, I did not buy the game. I played the demo, I heard all the spoilers before the game came out, and I have watched people play. So this is pretty biased of me to say that I didn't like Last of Us Part 2, but I'm gonna say it anyway. I did not like The Last of Us Part 2. It took me a while to actually get attached to Joel in The Last of Us, the first one. And spoilers, by the way, if you do want to hear spoilers, just click forward a few seconds. But in Last of Us Part 2, they kill off Joel, like, almost straight away. And that got me very, very much annoyed. And I could not enjoy the game, mainly because it took so long for me to actually like Joel in the first one. And then they completely destroyed it in the second one. It has nothing to do with the new characters. It has nothing to do with gameplay. I just did not like the storyline. And for me, I can understand why I would get Best Narrative, because it makes you feel emotions like anger and rage and different sorts of emotions. I get that. But for Game of the Year, no. Now, most of my friends, or most people I've spoke to in person, really, really did not like The Last of Us. Most people I've spoke to online did not like The Last of Us. Part 2, obviously, not the first one. The first one's really good. Now, a lot of people really, really, really did not like The Last of Us Part 2. And yes, I completely understand. There are a load of people out there who probably did really, really enjoy it, but their voices are very, very small and not being heard. But me personally, I'm very annoyed that The Last of Us Part 2 has won Game of the Year. Especially when it's up against giants like Ghosts of Tsushima and Final Fantasy VII Remake I don't know why I went to say Part 2, but Final Fantasy VII Remake. Now, Final Fantasy VII Remake, for me, the nostalgia just, there was overwhelming emotions. The characters who just have come so far, both in voice acting, in development, in graphics, everything's just, it's so good. They have upgraded every single part. So while you're walking along, you'll have like Barrett making like quirky conversation with Cloud, and seeing them actually come together and bond as a team. And it doesn't just go for one character, it depends on who you've got with you, and it feels more organic. It feels like it's not just come out of left wing or right wing or whatever the saying is. It just doesn't feel like it's pulled out of thin air. The combat, I am a massive fan of turn-based. I'm a really weird one. I love turn-based, but the way that they've upgraded the graphics, the fight scene from turn-based into what they've done, that was really enjoyable. It still held some aspects of the original game, and I know people will disagree with me, and it's fine, you can all have your own opinions, but the way they did it, for me, it was perfect. They modernized Final Fantasy VII Remake. The music, it got me crying straight away. And I know it's not just taken from the old game and put straight in. They've upgraded it, and that's really, really hard to do, especially to make something better. And I don't understand how it didn't win that many awards. I don't understand. I kind of understand Game of the Year because it was up against quite big things. But for me, it was my Game of the Year. The Honeybee Inn, it was entertaining, it was funny. They had some really serious, sad parts. They kept in parts from the original, but they also made it brand spanking new by changing some things, especially the fight mode, the monsters you fight, the ending. It was just, for me, it was perfect. Apart from maybe the graphics in the middle got a bit skew-whiff. Now, Ghost of Tsushima, again, every 2 seconds when I was playing, I had to stop and like look around because the scenery was absolutely beautiful. It was nice to be immersed into a different era and actually feel like, oh, I can relate to this character, and it was good. I really, really enjoyed Ghost of Tsushima. The storyline was quite deep, and depending on how you played and the end choices you made, depends on what storyline you pretty much got, and I know people disagree with me on that. But when I watched somebody else's gameplay, it felt like they played a completely different game to me because they chose different options and they missed certain parts and I missed certain parts, and it just felt completely... It felt like a whole completed game, and it won the Players' Awards. So I was hoping that Game of the Year, the people who were voting on Game of the Year, because they had a specialist panel, I hope that they would take into consideration some of the players' votes. So yeah, I am annoyed that The Last of Us has won the Game of the Year. Now, personally, like I said, I wanted Final Fantasy VII Remake to win, But I would have been more than happy if Ghost of Tsushima or Animal Crossing won, especially Animal Crossing due to, like I said, the pandemic that's currently going on and people not being able to see people in real life. I wouldn't be annoyed with that. But for Last of Us Part 2 to win, I completely understand Last of Us, but Part 2, not my cup of tea, not most people's cup of tea from what I have seen. There might be a lot of people out there who love The Last of Us Part 2, but I haven't come across that many. And yes, I understand that they've sold so many games. They've sold multiple copies. So some people must have enjoyed it. But the majority of people that I spoke to who game on a regular basis absolutely hated that game. And a lot of people who I spoke to before it came out were really looking forward to The Last of Us Part 2. And I completely understand that. I was debating getting it, even though The Last of Us was a good game. It's not my general sort of everyday type of game, because I'm quite a big RPG fan and like story based and Telltale sort of based. But I pre-ordered it, and then when I saw the spoilers, I had to cancel. I was like, no, I'm done with this game, and I still wanted to see what the hype was about. So I watched multiple people play through, and everybody who I watched play through, none of them liked it either. So I don't understand how it can win Game of the Year. Now, I would understand how it would win Best Narrative, because it does make you feel a lot of emotions. It does quite a roller coaster of emotions, but not for Game of the Year. And that is my opinion. You're all welcome to have your own opinion, and you're more than welcome to call me a Karen because I'm complaining about a game that I haven't played. Completely understand that, but I'm not amused, I'm not happy, I'm very annoyed, and I was expecting better of the Game Awards. I know that it has taken multiple awards. The Last of Us Part 2 has taken multiple awards in different game events. So like the Golden Joysticks, it's won Game of the Year there. But I was not expecting it from the Game of the Year. They're usually pretty unbiased, and they try to go off the player's choice, like who votes the most with the players. They try to take that into consideration, but I don't feel like they've done that this year. Anyway, I'm gonna stop complaining. I'm gonna go off the internet for a bit because I need to have a cup of tea or something, settle down and get changed for work, and I need to chill because I am very much annoyed. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching. If you disagree, I would like to know if any of you actually enjoyed The Last of Us Part 2, so leave a comment if you did. If you didn't, let me know why you think maybe it won, or why Ghost of Tsushima didn't win Game of the Year. Either way, let me know. Don't forget to like and subscribe to it. Have a good day. Bye guys!